Oh, I forgot. Oh my gosh, I forgot. So what I've forgotten was that this guy is multi-staged. Hello everybody and welcome back to some more All the Mods 9. Today, we're gonna be doing some magic, some beautiful magic from the mod Ars Nouveau. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be automating some source, which is part of the primary magic for this mod, and hopefully fighting a boss at the end of it. So in order for us to be able to automate source, we first need to progress a little bit through the quest line. We've already done this portion of it like near the beginning of the series because we already have ourselves the Mage's Spellbook, which is the tier 2 of it. So the next thing on our agenda would be to get the Imbuement Chamber, which is how you're going to get source gems and is probably the only thing that you can use without an actual source tank. Now, for a great majority of these, there's going to be two big things with it. Gold and Archwood, which Archwood is the beautiful, beautiful wood variant that this mod adds. Now, you can get Archwood by finding trees like this from the Ars Nouveau mod, and there's actually a lot of different looking ones, and this is a prime example of being able to see all the different kinds, but for right now, this one will do just fine. So we're gonna need to just chop it down so that way we can get all of the wood from it. There we go, and it'll probably give us some saplings too, so I could even chop that, or no, not chop it, plant it in case I need it. Wow, this takes a while when you're flying. Holy crap. Either way, though, now that we've gotten ourselves these, we can go ahead and use that to make ourselves the Archwood planks. I'm not going to make too many of them because in case I actually do need the logs in particular for something, and I just don't really remember it, we're going to have that there. So now we can go ahead and make ourselves some Imbuement Chambers. I'm going to go ahead and make 4 of them. And there we go. Now we've gotten those done. And then the next thing you would need would be to use it to make source gems, but we already actually have source gems, so we don't really need to do that for the quest line. But I will demonstrate it right here. So what you would need is you need either lapis or amethyst, and then you can go ahead and then throw that into there. And now it will slowly start collecting source from the surrounding area, and you can actually speed this up with a time in a bottle, I believe, but I won't be doing that because I really don't think there's any point in this. But eventually, over time, once that thing reaches to 100, actually, you know what, there definitely is a need to it, I'm not waiting around for that. But once that thing reaches to 100, and yet it definitely speeds it up, it will then convert into a source gem, as we are about to see right here in probably the next second, and there we go. Now we got ourselves a source gem. So the next thing that we're going to want to make is we're going to want to make some Archwood slabs so that way we can then make ourselves a source jar. This will be what will hold all of our source. It has a limited capacity to it, so it won't be able to hold an infinite amount, but it will still at the very least be a good amount. After that, we're going to want to use some of the source gems and some gold to be able to make this volcanic source link, and I will show you what that does later. But first, we are going to need to get ourselves some lava. Now, fortunately, I've actually already automated lava over in the mining dimension. I will show that in a little while, but I connected it to this ender tank. So now I should be able to just go ahead and pull out some lava right there, and then we can go ahead and then make ourselves this volcanic source link right here. There we go. And then I can go ahead and actually make 2 of them just because, like, I think 2 will serve our purposes just fine. These things do have a matter cooldown once their process is finished. So I think that having a few of them would definitely do us some good, and then we can go ahead and pick our ender tank back up. And our actual lava automation, which I did in between episodes, is right here. What we have is we have a material stonework factory, which is generating cobblestone and sending it over into this basin with this mechanical mixer while it's superheated, which then converts the cobblestone into lava, which sends it over to this jumbo tank, which then sends it over into the ender tank. The jumbo tank is just for backlog. Alrighty, so now if I go ahead and take these source blocks, which I gathered up in between episodes, and convert them all into source gems, we can now go ahead and then mix these source gems with some stone of any kind. I'm using andesite because I have those in abundance. And then we can go ahead and then make this stuff right here called Source Stone. Source Stone is an integral crafting component for a lot of things, such as this thing right here called the Arcane Core. I'm gonna want to make 2 of these, actually, for various purposes, and which I will reveal in a second. Then we'll also want to make this enchanting apparatus, and then finally, this arcane pedestal. I think I actually need 8 of the pedestals. I do need 8 of the pedestals, so that means I'm gonna need 2 more source gems, which is of no problem since we have our imbuement chambers already. Then we can go ahead and just set these things to speed up, and then those things should be done at, like, any second now, actually. Like, yep, there we go. Alrighty, cool. So now we can go ahead, throw those bad boys into there, hope that this distributes properly. Alas, it does not. I will only obtain half of what I actually need.
Later that same evening.
But there we go. Now we got ourselves the rest of our arcane pedestals right there. There we go. Now that's that entire portion of this completely done, which means we can now start the automation process. But first, I want to take one of these arcane cores and give it to a villager. This way, we can actually start getting some of their trades. And, oh, this guy could trade pomegranates. And then this other one right here will be for something down here. So let's go downstairs. And then I need to find the room that I set up for. Ah, yes, here we are, right where I put my scribes table. So I set up this room. I didn't build it, but I did excavate it a little bit to make it fit. And this is going to be where we do a good many of our magical processes. Now, I am realizing I'm actually going to need more of these pedestals, but that's fine. So what we want to do is we want to put this pedestal right here, and then we can have ourselves our volcanic source links right there. Those things will be placed there. Then, after that, we're actually going to want to grab ourselves this thing right here called a modular router. This thing's a very interesting mod in itself, and you're all gonna love it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this boy right here, and I believe I can configure these things inside of here. Okay. The next thing we do is we want to put this ender tank right here, the one that has the lava in it. Now then, do I have my bucket on me? I do. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to take this thing called the polar module and make sure the front is this thing right here, so that way we can figure this properly. We want to pull from the left, and we want it to only pull a bucket and send that to whitelist. So now, if we throw this thing in here and we were to put this bucket onto there, we should see... Oh... This thing doesn't take power, does it? Or maybe I want it to be on always. Okay, yes, okay, I set this thing to wrong. I put it on redstone mode never. I needed it to be on always. Okay, I thought that having it on always meant that it needed to have always redstone. But, there we go. Now the bucket is in here. If I put it back, you can actually see it go back in. There we go. And this thing doesn't actually need power, which is very, very fascinating. Now then, what we also want to do is we want to take this thing here called the activator. We want this thing to be on look, and then look level like there. We want it to always be this way. And then we have to have the action be right click and then click to the right, bearing in mind that this will always be the front. Then let's actually go ahead and grab our bucket again and then make sure that it will only click with this bucket and set that to whitelist. So now we can go ahead, throw this thing into here, and then put the activator module, and now it's full of lava. Alrighty, now here's the final thing. We want the sender to now also send back to the left and keep this one as a lava bucket and then put that to whitelist. So now we can go ahead and put that there, put the lava here, and now it goes infinitely. And now these things are continuing to generate source because those things are using up that lava. So now if we put this source tank right here, the source that these things have generated will flow into here. It's currently 20% full, 40% full. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. So let's actually go ahead and put this to eco mode. So that way, if this thing goes idle, it will be a bit slower, so it won't use up as much lag. This is especially great if you're on a server. Now, I don't want to take credit for this little setup right here. I got this idea from a guy called Chosen Architect. He's really great with mods. He has so many great ideas. And I just wanted to give this thing a little try out. And it's probably the easiest way. So, you know, just so that way it doesn't seem like I'm taking credit. But it looks like the source jar is now full, which means this will no longer rotate. which is good because that means that the lava can have a chance to continue to generate. Okay, I was actually worried about this. So, one thing that these volcanic source links actually do, which is actually a little bit dangerous for me. If we go into it, we can actually see, as it burns items, it will convert nearby stone into lava. My entire base is made of stone variants.
5 minutes later.
Alrighty, I decided to just move this over to the mining dimension, just so that way we could actually have all the space we're gonna need. Let's be honest, I'm pretty sure that almost all of my processes that I'm gonna make are just gonna take place in the mining dimension at this point. Because, like, I wanted to be able to fit them in my base, but it's just like, everything just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and it's just like, it's just not gonna work. So, yeah, we moved this over here. I did run into a small problem with this, which was that when I came to the mining dimension, the activator wasn't actually right-clicking on this. So what I actually had to do was I had to click on the My Team option and then go into Settings. And then I had to change something over here. Yeah, I had to change block edit mode, block interaction mode, and NC interact mode all to public. That way it was able to work. I don't know why I needed to do that, but I did, so you know what, at least it's working now. So now that we've gotten this thing over to here, our next step is going to be to set this area up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the arcane core here, the enchanting apparatus right here, and then we surround this with these pedestals. And that is how you would make enchanted stuff. Because if we go into the enchanting thing right here, there's actually a lot of craftings that you can do with this. I think I can even make, yeah, I can make enchanting books. However, we won't really be using this right now, as I don't really have a use for it at the moment. But this way, for when we are going to need it, it's there. And I also believe if I take one of these imbuement chambers and put that right here, this would also work like this for things that need imbuement, like this manipulation essence right here. So if I take out a clock, redstone, and a button from in here, and I'm pretty sure these things need to be exact. So we want the button up here, then the redstone here, and then the clock here. And then if we put our source gem right into here, it should start working. Yeah, it's crafting manipulation essence. Okay, so I did need to have it all around it. Now, is my source jar too far away? It is too far away. Okay, so I'd need to move this one closer, but that's fine because the source jars do still hold their source. If we put this right over here, it should start going in now, and yes it is, there we go. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole thing with source, is that it's just going to involve so much of it, and there we go, now we got the manipulation thing. Oh wait, it doesn't even eat these things! I mean, it really doesn't matter that much anyways, because what I was thinking I could use this for, I actually needed the enchanting one anyways, so it really doesn't matter all that much. But that's fine, so we can go ahead and just throw that guy back there, and then we can go ahead and put our source jar back over here as well. Now, I will say this, having to go back and forth with the source jars would be very, very tedious, which is actually one of the reasons why we made this manipulation essence, which was to further our automation of this thing, because with this manipulation essence, if we take 2 of these things with 2 source gems and 4 gold mixed with an ME item cell housing, we can make an ME source cell housing, which we could then use to make a source cell, which can be used in my AE2 system, which is going to be one of the advantages I have for actually deciding to use the applied energetic system, because there isn't one of these for refined storage. So I won't do that on screen, but what I intend to do is I will use these things to actually go ahead and make them. But yeah, that will definitely be something to look forward to. So then, let's take on the boss that I was wanting to fight. In order for us to do this, we need to make this thing here called the Ritual Brazier. It's going to take a source gem block, which is going to take 4 source gems, another one of these arcane pedestals, which I've already crafted, and 3 gold. Alrighty, and now we've got ourselves the Ritual Brazier. There we go. So now that we have ourselves the brazier, this thing will allow us to create rituals, which is all of these things right here. These tablets which you can make are for specific rituals. The one that we're going to want is going to be the Tablet of Summon Wilden. But I may not have to craft it at all because the Shady Wizard, which is the villager I made before, at his level 3, can actually sell me the Tablet of Summon Wilden. So let's actually go ahead and grab ourselves some of these emeralds, and then we're just gonna level this guy up to tier 3 and hope that he gets me to it.
2 very boring minutes later.
It didn't give us it. Okay, we did get Binding, which is a pretty interesting one, actually. Well, unfortunately, it doesn't look like it gave us the one we were looking for, which, it's fine. It's just that I would have liked to be able to just buy it because, I mean, then this would have been so much easier. Okay, then, well, since we actually do have the materials we're going to need to be able to craft this, let's just go ahead and do that. We're actually going to need to craft 2 of these things. So, what do you mean? Oh, does it need to be specifically Vexing Archwood? Oh, it does. Okay, so my Blazing Archwood won't work, okay, but we're also going to need these other 2 things, which means we're going to need 2 iron swords, very, very nice, and then we're going to want 2 bows. How do I not have string? Okay, I have so much of this flax stuff right here, the stuff that makes you poop, and I still do not have string. Ugh, alrighty, then I'm just going to need to go ahead and collect some Vexing Archwood. Just for you all to know, the Vexing Archwood is the purple one. And there we go, now we got our 2 tablets of Summon Wilden. The reason why we want 2 of these is for a very particular reason. When we use this thing, we can actually summon the boss with it. But we can't summon the boss without some ingredients that we get from the other Wilden creatures. But if we don't throw those things into the brazier, it will summon those other Wilden creatures, which are the guys that we're going to need to kill so that way we can summon it again. Which is why we needed the second one, so that way once we got the stuff we need, we can then summon the boss. So we can go ahead, I'm gonna step away from all of this just in case this guy can damage my stuff. I don't know if he can. So we'll go over to here and place this down. Now then, what we can do is, I want to grab these things right here, which are called the data frameworks, but that's going to be for something separate. So what we'll do is, we'll right-click this, so that way we now have the Summon of Wilden. It's awaiting activation. Have I missed something? Okay, wait, I think I just needed to right-click it. Okay, yes I did. Oh my gosh, look at these guys! The dude's got an update! Okay. There we go. So these guys are the Wilden creatures, and they look way different from what I remember. Okay, there's still one Wilden that's missing, though. Okay, well, while this guy's up in the air, we can go ahead and right-click you. Come on. Come on. Let me right-click you. This model does not exist. Unknown specimen. What? But there's supposed to be a Wilden one, isn't there? Oh, wait a minute. I think that's only for this guy over here. Okay, so then, let's right-click you. No. Right-click. It's actually not working. Why you no work? Oh, there we go. Okay, now we got the Wilden data module. Okay, then. So, the Wilden actually will work for all of them, then. Okay. That's actually very interesting. Okay, so I need to get 3 of these. Okay, there we go. That's 2. I am running low on health. Okay. Oh, no, it's configured wrong. Okay, yeah. I don't know if I ever covered this, but the Emperor's Chalice will actually serve as an infinite food source. I can just keep drinking it, and it'll just keep going up. Alrighty, we need 1 more data module, though. Just 1 more. Okay, come on. Come on over here. Okay, we need you. We want you. And there we go. The last one has been acquired. Okay, so now I can just start killing all of these guys. I need to make sure I get rid of these guys because they can just continue to summon wolves, which can be very, very annoying. I'm still missing one of the Wilden thing, and that's the Wilden spikes, because it drops from the Wilden defenders. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that a couple more times. I'm definitely going to need to grab another Tablet of Summon Wilden, and once I manage to get the guys, I'll cut right back. Okay, here we go. We got him. Okay. So this guy is called the Wilden Defender. He's already dead. He's like a guardian mixed with a wolf. Or no, like a grizzly bear. Yeah, grizzly bear. No, polar bear. I mean, if you got a pizzly bear, I guess. But there we go. Now we've gotten ourselves our Wilden spikes. So now that I have these, I can actually summon the boss himself. I either need some more pedestals or I can throw these things on here once I activate it, so that way I'll then summon it. I'm uncertain, especially since this thing wasn't actually showing the kind of fire effect that it normally shows, but I don't know if that's just because I have particles turned off or not. But before we do that, there's actually a few things that I want to first make, and that is going to be some spells, because since this guy is from a magic mod, I want to fight him with magic. So I want to make a spell that is going to be used for power. That is going to be this spell right here called Beat 'em. But before I can even use that, I'm actually going to need to first make some components for this spell. And then the spells that we're going to want, or at least the component spells, it's going to be the Glyph Amplify, the Glyph Accelerate, and Glyph AoE. Now, I actually did forget that I needed a pickaxe, so I had to come over and grab that. So now, what we want is, there is the Glyph of Accelerate, we click Accept. And now, what we need to do is we need to throw the Powered Rail, the Sugar, and... Wait, what? But... Oh, did it already take my clock out? Oh, wait, no, it didn't take my clock out. Okay, I'll just accept it. So now we can right-click our glyph, and now we've unlocked it. So now, if we go ahead, click C, we can now see inside of here, we have the Glyph of Accelerate. So if we go ahead and take out our harm things right here, we need to put Augment before then, and then we go ahead and attach the harms. Now this thing, as a projectile, will go even faster. So if I right-click this thing, it shoots out quicker. Apparently, it doesn't look like there's a visualizing. I could have sworn there was one before. Okay, so there's definitely something wrong with me not being able to see it. That is fine, since this way this will work. So now that we've gotten Accelerate, the next one we want is going to be the Glyph of AoE. It should be in here somewhere. Yes, it is. So now we right-click that. It'll take a fireworks star, which for some reason doesn't actually show up when I request it in JEI, because if I go over to here and then click it, it doesn't show me the crafting recipe at all. So I don't know if this one will work, so we just throw that there. Okay, it does. Okay, so you can use pretty much any one of them, and that should now get us our Glyph of AoE. So now if I right-click that one, and then we go out from here. Oh, and I didn't even... Oh, I forgot to save this one. Okay, well, that's fine. So there we go. Now I can go ahead and grab those. And it doesn't... Oh, projectiles can't be augmented with AoE. It doesn't look like AoE can actually match with anything I have for the form glyphs. And I can't just put it up front because form glyph needs to come first. So as unfortunate as it is, it does look like we're going to have to miss out on that. Which is, it's fine, you know, we can live with that. So then, the last one that I can get right now with my current tier is, I want to grab the form of Amplify. It's not a form, it's another glyph. I think if I search it up, it should show up. So yes, here we go, we have Amplify right here. It takes a diamond pickaxe. What Amplify does is it makes my spells more powerful, at least their traits. So now, let's go ahead, put our Deep Learner in our inventory right over here, so that way, once this thing is summoned, it should still also use these other guys. So it'll be very, very interesting. So now what we can do is we can right-click this guy right here. It should be awaiting activation. Now, if I throw those things there, yes, there we go. It does still work. I don't know why the visuals don't show up. It's very weird like that. So now, once I right-click this guy, the boss will summon. There he is, the Wilden Chimera. He looks completely different. Dude, what on earth? Okay, things are not going right. Oh, and my Deep Learner is not working in the way I want it to. Okay, but here we go. Oh crap, I got Edis on me. Oh, I don't want Edis. Oh no, that's not the one I want. Okay, I want Beat 'em. Okay, there we go. The Chimera. He actually looks way better now. Dude. Oh, I don't have enough mana. Why can't I fly? Okay, there we go. Okay, I just had the wrong buttons pressed. Okay, so, yeah, you can't really get me, can you? But dude, okay, let me show you all a picture right now of what this guy used to look like. Let me know down in the comments which you all prefer, because this guy looks insane. He has way more health now. Yeah, he has 1,000 health. Okay, so how much damage does this spell do? It does about 5 damage. That's not actually a lot for what I've got. I was actually hoping that I could get this thing to do a bit more, which is slightly unfortunate. It might be because I didn't understand this properly. At least it doesn't look like he's able to regenerate, which is fortunate, and he is also able to summon wolves, which is a little bit worse. Let's shift our tactics over to Yeetus, and then I forgot! Whenever I gotta select a spell, and it changes, it deactivates my jetpack. That's not fun. It's not good. It's no bueno. But actually, wait. Why is this more effective? Oh, I know why it's more effective. Okay, so it does a similar amount of damage, but it's using less mana. Okay, you know what? Nah, I wanted to do it, but like the damage is so minimal. This just takes forever. I give up. Okay, I give up on trying to kill you with your own mod. I am now going to start trying to kill you with all this. I will still use a bit of Yeet. Did he just sprout wings? He just sprouted wings. Oh, I forgot. Oh, I forgot. Oh my gosh, I forgot. So what I've forgotten was that this guy is multi-staged. Okay, yeah, no, I am so freaking glad I decided to do this away from all my important stuff, because holy crap. Yeah, and I even got the achievement, wait, this guy can fly. Oh, he's doing it again. Oh, he's doing it again. Wait a minute. My base is that way. Okay, I want him to go this way. Holy crap, that is intense. Yeah, this guy's way worse now. Okay, so like I fought him before and his multi-stage made him like accumulate the powers of each of the Wildens, but now it's actually like its own thing. Okay, well, it's kind of doing it. Okay, yeah, so I was kind of right as to what it did, because before it accumulated the powers of all of them as it kind of got a bit stronger each time, but it still wasn't very significant. That might have also just been because I had the Sword of the Cosmos at the time. And he shoots those spikes, which I'm pretty sure give me slowness, but he should die any moment now. Let's kill him with Yeetus. And there we go. We wandered so far away from the pedestal, man. Oh my gosh, but there we go. With the Deep Learner all situated, now we got all of that. And we got ourselves the Wilden Tribute, baby. The reason why we want this Wilden Tribute is because this thing right here, as well as all of those other guys, all of their drops that are unique things, all of these are ingredients in making the All the Mods Star, which is the goal of this mod pack. So if we go into here, one of the things that's used to create this is the Master of Dragons, and one of this things is called the Focus of Summoning. To make the Focus of Summoning, we need the Wilden Tribute, the Gold, a Source Gem block, a Wilden Horn, a Wilden Spike, and a Wilden Wing. All of these things are now in our possession, and we could make the Focus of Summoning. But I will not actually be using this thing to make that just yet. Now, I do want to emphasize this. The Focus of Summoning is created using the enchanting apparatus. That means that these things will not stay, they will be absorbed into its whole. So I would actually need a way to automate the Wilden Tributes as well as these other guys. But when it comes to the Wilden Tribute, that thing is going to be another can of worms, which I will tackle at a later date. So what am I actually going to use this Wilden Tribute for? Well, rather than using it for the spell Focus, I think it's time that we use this thing to max out our enchanting book. Not our enchanting book, our mage book. If we go down into here and then look at the Archmage, to craft this thing, you'd need the Mage's Book, a Nether Star, 2 Emeralds, 3 Ender Pearls, a Totem of Undying, and the Wilden Tribute. So if we go ahead and then grab our Nether Star right over here, because I never actually automated these things yet, we now have all of these things together. I don't know if my spells stay, but with this, we can now use tier 3 spells. Do all my spells stay? They do. So now let's go ahead and right click this, request the Form of Orbit. And now we can throw these boys right onto here, and here it comes. The first of our tier 3 glyphs is ours. The glyph for the form of orbit. So now let me actually go ahead and turn on some of the settings that I think will be conflicting with this, so that way we can demonstrate this baby. Alrighty, so I determined that it is in fact particles that I was having a problem with because I had to turn my particles off. So now we get the form of orbs. Oh, and I've got the perfect name for this thing. Since I want this thing to have an AoE of it, I don't think accelerate will do me much good, but we can go ahead and do that. And then have damage and then amplify. This thing is going to be an instrument of death. So I think that the best name for an orb spell that makes death come is going to be Orbituary. Because it's like an obituary, which is the thing that tells people dying, but it's orbs. So now if we go ahead and then not throw it down, we can go ahead and right click this. Oh my gosh. Can I make more? Oh my gosh, I can add more. Look at that. There's even more now. Yes! It's becoming a circle. There we go. With the power of our floating orbs and all the new magics we have unlocked, I'd say we've done some good things here. So let's go ahead and then check off all of our quests. Holy crap. Did you like this video? Good. Then be sure to check out our last All the Mods 9 video where we actually set up all of this create stuff, so that way we could further our progress throughout this mod pack, and also just because it's freaking cool looking. Bye bye!